To begin, why is autonomy fundamentally good? Like, where are you providing the moral justification for autonomy?
Well, autonomy is fundamentally good because if we allow the individual to make their own decisions, we're essentially allowing them to realize their conception of themselves. We're allowing them to become who they are and not just kind of a means to a certain list of ends for the state. We're allowing them to essentially be who they are. And
Are they the ones making the decision?
Well, they're not the ones making the decision, but inherently because they cannot make the decision, we have to be able to essentially assume their autonomy for them so that we can let them make the decision.
Then how are they autonomous if we're assuming their rights for them?
Well, first off, it'd be noted that through the 5 ways that we've actually introduced what the definition of voluntary euthanasia is, then we can actually see that in some cases they do have their own autonomy to decide it by themselves. But even then, we have to look to again, if they cannot assume their own autonomy, then we should be able to do so for them, because essentially what we're doing is we're exercising their rights for them.
Okay. How is the preservation of rights, how does that achieve autonomy in today's round?
Preservation of rights is achieving autonomy because by protecting an individual's rights, we're allowing them to act autonomously in the region. Essentially, rights is what everyone is inherently due, and because rights is what guarantees the autonomy of the individual.
Okay. Then you're talking about inalienable rights in your first contention. What was your warrant for that? Like, where are you explaining where the inalienable rights come from?
Well, first off, in my frame, I talked about how essentially they come from, first off, the Constitution, and first off, the Declaration of Independence, but we can also see that conceptually they come from kind of a social contract saying that we formed this government to essentially being able to recognize these rights, recognize this kind of level playing field between individuals, that you won't be discriminated based on all these different issues, and also that the government is formed to protect life and liberty.
Does the social contract, doesn't that grant rights to the government rather than giving rights to the people? Wouldn't that actually be removing from the state of nature, rather where we can make whatever decisions we want, rather than granting the government less rights to make things legal or not legal?
Well, no, because we formed the social contract to guarantee the rights of the individual. In the state of nature, it is a state of war because everyone is entitled to everyone else's resources. We formed the social contract so that we are essentially protected from outside forces, and that we can be guaranteed our rights.
Okay. Your second and third contention seem to be very focused on like utilitarian or consequentialist benefits. How does that tie back to your framework of autonomy? Like, how is that achieving autonomy by saving $55 billion?
Well, we have to look to, essentially is that we're taking away the benefits of autonomy, essentially is that, well, by taxing you are limiting their autonomies, and by not allowing the patient or the family members to be happy, you are limiting their autonomy, because essentially you're taking away from their ability to exercise their rights. So in a roundabout way, we are actually taking away their autonomy.
Okay.